Hello, hello. Elaine Grace here at Recalibrate to Great Coaching. And I got to talk to you about happiness. Happiness is rife at the minute. There's just no getting away from it. Blogs giving you 5 ways to get happy, videos telling you where you can go to be, videos, happiness quotes all over Pinterest. Here's just a couple. Cry because it's over, smile because it happened. For every minute you are angry, you lose 60 seconds of happiness. Okay? And folks are as happy as they make themselves up to be. Okay. Bit of an eye roll, right? Well, in spite of this intro, like I am actually a big advocate of happiness. In fact, I make a very special effort to be happy. But I think that as with many terms, and I say this again, you know, the algorithms that I set, the filters that I have in my life at the moment, obviously around personal development, around coaching, around how to be better there, you know, so what pops up my filter, they are things that contribute to that kind of ownership of your life and ownership of creating the reality in which you live in. However, I'm getting a little bit worn out with these mindless instructions. Just be happy. Just smile. Smile and you'll find happiness. Go to your happy place. Like everything, there needs to be a bit of a why attached to this. And I appreciate that happiness is a more preferred state. It's a nicer state to be than, you know, any of the negative states. I get that, right? But there is actually more than just experiencing life from a more joyful perspective. And so those of you who don't know, I'm Elaine Grace of Recalibrate to Great Coaching. I work with people to go from being pushed about by life and their environment to grabbing hold of the controls and making clear and actionable decisions. In doing so, keep their reality to exactly what they want to see, not this power that the world unfolds around them and they have nothing that they can do about it. That's not my belief. My belief is the absolute opposite. So I can confusion here that perhaps, you know, what does happiness actually do? That really is my question here. Like, what does happiness actually do? What is the point of happiness? Because let's think about, what does anger do? So anger allows us to express our dislike, discomfort, or frustration in a certain situation towards certain people. So what's the aim of anger? So when we express anger, there's likely to be like a desire to get an immediate and powerful result in line with what we want. Like uproar, protest, they serve a purpose, sure, I get that. But like, I'm a master NLP coach, and in NLP, we're really focused on the language, the linguistics of what we're saying to ourselves. And because of the fact of the matter is that what we say shapes our reality. It's just a fact. And I would happily engage in discussion with anybody to talk that out if somebody doesn't really share that belief. Entitled to your opinion, but if you would like to chat that through, I'm here all day. And some people find this a difficult statement, and just stick with me and you'll see. I'll show you what I mean. So go into much detail right now, beliefs, but anybody who knows me knows that they are the cornerstone of pretty much everything that we do and everything that we don't do. So because that belief, that's what I choose to do, to say or to have based on what I believe. And so this is of everyone, but not everyone is clear on their belief. How does this link to us? So I've come to believe that this pressure on everybody happy, do what makes you happy. True happiness is in the moment. Like, if you feel anxious, you're in the future, and if you feel regret or pain, you're in the past. Like, yeah, and the fact, like, happiness does actually serve a very real and very practical purpose. And I think it's important to know this, so that we can't just say, well, I should be happy because the world doesn't need negativity. You know, there's enough shit going on in the world that I don't need to add to it with my problems. My problems aren't big enough or worthy enough of anything. I should be grateful for what I have. Like, when you're forced into this, like, how you should behave so that you that you are happy, joyful. Don't be such a, what is it, like a mood hoover and things like that. It's difficult if you don't know why. If people are just instructing you to behave in a particular way, we're not, you know, we don't live in that kind of world. If you know why you're doing it, then it becomes so much easier to access it when you need it. And this is the point of emotions and feelings, is that, you know, our thoughts and feelings and physiology, they're very linked. And so we want to show up and perform in a certain way, obtain a certain result. We need to get in touch with our state. We need to know why we're doing what we're doing, so that we are in control of the decisions that we're going to make around that. You know, you can choose your thoughts. You can choose your thoughts all day long. You can choose your thoughts. Now, please, everybody know that this is about day-to-day life. Okay? Yes, if you're experiencing extreme trauma, extreme grief, I don't know if grief has to be extreme. Grief is grief, but you know, those have extenuating circumstances. Okay, so let's just come to day-to-day life. You know, and people who are watching this, generally, you're looking for ways to experience life from a better point of view. And you can read Viktor Frankl to find out that, you know, in extreme situations, this is also possible. So let's get back to the point. What is the actual purpose and point of happiness? So what is this real and practical purpose that I talk about? And I don't want to burst the bubble of people who are happy just to experience that. That's great. And if you hear this, then you'll see also like why that's actually continuing to be a joyful situation. So it's all a bit about drugs, really. Okay, chemicals, hormones, the natural occurring drugs within our body and their role within our body. So our mind state, our mind space, and what impact that has on so the chemicals and the hormones and the impact that they have on our mind space, that determines what action we take. It determines how we feel, and therefore ultimately it determines how we are experiencing our reality, right? Because if you're in a really painful situation where you're thinking, I don't want to be here, 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 you can feel the tension growing in your body. You can feel this sort of looking for an exit, trying to get out of the way. So that's how you're experiencing your reality at the moment. You don't want to be there. Whereas if you're like, oh my God, can't we get closer? Can I get in there? This is really exciting. Oh my God, look, it's them. It's really them. You know, you're drawn to a situation, you're drawn to an occasion, you're feeling it's, you know, you're looking for, oh my God, how can I get closer? Is there a way in there? Or they're not looking, security's not looking, oh yeah, maybe I'm going to get in. This could be the most amazing moment of my life and I'll never, ever forget it. Okay, we're driven in certain ways. Those are probably two quite extreme situations, but they're real for some people. So let's start with anger. Anger serves a very real purpose, but anger releases cortisol, and cortisol has the effect on synaptic flow and the messages in a way that the messaging signal, it's short-lived, it's stopped. It doesn't go from on and on and on and on. It doesn't have this sort of knock-on effect. It goes and it dies off really quick. It just doesn't keep firing. So have a little think back. Let's do an exercise when think back to a time when you were really angry. And align that thought with something in your immediate environment. Don't kind of go to the new channels or anything like that. Let's stick to your day-to-day life. Think of it like a pain in the ass neighbor, or a boss who has no regard for morale, or a relative who continues to choose obnoxious or ignorant behavior that goes right through you and makes you shudder just when you hear their name. So I remember I used to work in an office where my boss, he had all these tics and habits and they were really annoying, and like join this up with his attitude to the staff that he managed and his clients who were ringing up making inquiries, and he just had this complete lack of self-awareness. Whoa, even now, like I can feel the tension. So, and I felt trapped in that situation. And like what happened was we found out that the feelings and sentiments about this person, you know, it went across the building actually. And when I discovered that I wasn't the only one who felt this way, a culture developed where we would sound off about him when he wasn't there. And what this did was it just developed a cycle of venom and insults and actually an overinflated sense of self on my part. And I noticed it in the others around me as well, this sort of we were pumping ourselves up by putting him down. And not one of us chose to look at the situation differently or find a solution or think of a way to mention it so that we could bring harmony and unity throughout the business culture and office life, you know, and it would have changed things in a big way. And this was all before my NLP training and my journey to increase my sense of self and the power that I have, the knowledge that I have now, the power that I have in all of the interactions and relationships that I'm involved with, directly and indirectly. You know, it's extensive. So what has this got to do with happiness? Let's keep going. So anger and other related negative thoughts, excuse me, thanks to the release of cortisol, that's what gives you that skin crawly little electric jolt of repulsion and desire to avoid. And the lack of synaptic flow, this lack of sort of continuous movement, it impacts negatively on our ability to look for solutions and possibilities. So think about life, think about reality, think about, according to Tony Robbins, and I agree with this wholeheartedly, if you're not progressing, you're dying, right? So moving, you need to have this sense of possibility, this sense of capability, this sense of ability. So happiness and related positive feelings and emotions, they give off a very different feeling, don't they? So like you experience, when you know the difference between experiencing happiness and the difference of experiencing anger, right? And that comes in your physiology, it comes in your feelings, that internal sensation that you get over your body. And it is down to the hormones and the chemicals that we release in the body, because that's driving our fight or flight or flee, or just get involved. That looks like fun. So with happiness, what we're releasing is serotonins. And anybody who does exercise and things like that, you know, it's a drug, it's addictive, it's a high, it's great, it's really positive. But what serotonin does to our synaptic flow, our synaptic messaging, is that it goes like a skipping stone across a lake, right? And it just keeps going. And so if you think about this as sort of, you know, taking a journey within your mind space, within your mental space, is that it accesses, you know, it has so much of a further reach. And I talk about this in the sense that, you know, this goes then into your mind space of capability and ability. This is your problem solving, solutions based mind space. And that's what happens. You think about it, anger, you're all down here. Happiness, because you're going, what else can I have? What else can I do? What does this mean? I really, really want it. So how can I make it happen? Like if you're driven by happiness, you are driven by a mentality of capability, possibility, because you are accessing your solutions-based mind space. And think about things where you've been really happy. And with that, you're joined to optimism. And with that, you're joined to possibility. And so if you have a sense of possibility, then that is linked to your sense of ability. And this is what keeps you moving forward. So yes, happiness is a great state to be in. Happiness is a joyful, you know, state to be in. But think about that from the sense that that's because you are feeling capable. You're feeling so much more able. You're in a space where you're asking yourself, what if I could? What if I did? What if it was me? You know, and what a wonderful place to be. What a wonderful thought to have. And that's what's progress. That's what's giving us a sense of, ooh. And you go into a room. And I did a video just the other day about intrinsic drive. So when you find your core why and you can move forward and forward and forward, right? Because when you have that sense of achievement that you did something, you're responsible for that taking action, you collect that reference point like fee, that you are able, and that drives your sense of ability and capability to do the next thing. So when you focus on the positive, when you focus on what you happy about that, that is going to give you all of the tools that you need to have the power to take the next step. So you get value for money from media. So think about this in your own life, in your own situation, right? Because we all peak and trough, okay? So movement within us and within our emotions, that's natural. But it's recognizing the fact that you have the power within every single moment to make a conscious decision to change or to choose your mood and your state. And you do that with your thoughts or your physiology. They can go, they're one and the same. So if you can't access thoughts of happiness, optimism, positivity, and if you are in that of nothing's working for me and I can't change your physiology. Change the way you're standing. If you're down, stand up. Right? Think that you've got to give a presentation to a boardroom and listening. You have to have your frame be strong. Look as well. Look up. Okay? Changing your state. It's just anything. Pattern interrupt is going to get in there and get you in a different space. If you have the power to change, just think a different thought. And you can do that with a simple question. What's a positive thing I can think of right now? Wait for it. See, I got too many, so I don't have to wait that long. But I'm practiced at it. Flexing a muscle. Get good at it, and you get good at it by doing more of it. So if this has really resonated with you and something that you think that you could build up on, I want to invite you to come and have a call with me. We have a 40-minute, 1-hour breakthrough call. It's completely free. And we talk about what's going on for you at the moment, because within our life, we feel that there are certain things that we don't have a handle on, we don't necessarily have a level of control of. And it's important knowledge that you do actually. So everything that we do, everything that we have a choice. And I can't tell you the results that I'm getting from where, they come to me from literally square one, no knowledge, no information, no development, but they just know there's better. They know there's better. They're seeing people out there improving themselves and feeling these benefits and saying, oh, I'm just so much more calm, so much more in control. These things don't bother me anymore. Huh? And trust me, changes that you can make overnight. And when it's like knowing that. It's seeing a kettle, you don't know if it's hot or cold yet. You touch it, right? Touch the kettle. Ooh. Okay. Now your level of the state of that coffee, that kettle, you know that now. And this is the thing. So, if something's solid, it's an illusion. Like, there's so many things that we can do. Get on a call with me. It's a breakthrough call, 45 minutes, hour. It's completely free. Let's talk about what's going on for you at the moment. I would like to invite you into my world of ability. I would like to invite you to see if I can help guide you your path. We all have a path. We all center our sense of greatness. And I help you access that. I can help you with that. And I love doing it apart from I'm Grace. My business is great to great because my point is that we come into this with greatness in core, but we get and pushed about, and we need to realign that. And that is an absolute gift to this speciality. So give me a call and let's see what we can do. Yeah. Thank you.